Well, folks, we're off for another adventure. Right, Chad?
Yes, sir. Always an adventure.
I have to say, there was multiple people that came into the office this week. And they're like, Chad's a man of few words. I said, yeah, they said, you need to get him to talk more. Well, one guy said, no, Chad's just there, he's the eye candy.
Yeah, that's it. Definitely the eye candy.
I was dying. I'm like, okay, I've never heard that one before, but
oh, I hear it all the time.
but I said, you know, I said it's funny because Chad, they said Chad's like a fixture of the boat. He's doing his thing. And I said, yeah, but I said, I need him to talk a little bit more. I said, that's why I shoved the camera in his face quite a bit and say, Chad, what are you doing? What do you think about oh, eye candy.
Oh yeah, I'm used to that. That's
Bow, chicka, bow, wow.
That's why I'm here.
Well, folks, we're gonna run to the bridge, catch bait. We're gonna fish inside the bay today simply because the winds are supposed to pick up and I don't want to be caught doing something stupid offshore, and if we're on a hot bite, we don't leave, and then you know, it gets nasty, and so
He ruins the eye candy.
oh Lord. So anyway, what we're gonna do is we're gonna head to the bridge, catch bait, kind of go over that again, because a lot of people are requesting, they really like when we do stuff like that because it helps them out, which is why I do it. So we're going to do that, get there, catch bait. Like I said, the tides are really slow today, so I think it's going to be prime for the offshore fish like snapper, grouper, sea bass, stuff like that. So let's see what we can do. So Chad just let out the anchor line. What we're doing is we're setting up at the bridge. We're gonna be out away from the bridge a little bit because there's the bait was marking just outside the bridge. So we're not gonna go, no. So we're going to set up probably about 30 to 40 feet outside the bridge because there's a lot of bait that's marking on the outside here. So we're going to set up outside. We may have to leave the boat in reverse because there is a little bit of wind going against the current, but the current looks like it might be strong enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to get set up and see how the boat sits, and if we have to keep it in reverse, then we'll keep it in reverse. But Chad, right about here. See, I want to keep us off the bridge because that bait is marking way off the bridge. So what I'm going to do is probably have Chad throw the chum probably mid-boat to get it down. And then by the time I throw the net and let it sink, I'm going to throw it off to the side of the boat here and then let it sink down. I'm going to throw my 10 foot quarter inch mesh, 1.3 pounds per foot talon cast net, and we'll show you how it's done. Now what we found is we anchored up in the middle of this stall over here, but the way the tide's running, it's running at an angle, so we ended up in the middle of this stall, which is not a problem. It's still marking a ton of bait. So what I'm going to do is I'll throw this net beside the boat here and let it float back.
Strutting a little bit.
A little? See, absolutely slam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably need a stick. Probably need a stick to keep these birds off.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's all pink there.
Yeah. Ah! Jigs! Ah! It's all fish.
Almost all
Wow. Change our game plan.
I'm still not coming offshore.
No, but I'm saying
Oh yeah.
fishing for grouper and snappers instead of smoking reds.
Oh, I wasn't gonna fish for smoking reds.
Oh, okay.
Well,
So
maybe
maybe
possibly late, but
I have never seen.
I've never
that
caught
one
that many
time,
big
Johnny,
fish.
I got that many.
well, what we had to do is we had to actually go in shallower. There was just, we threw one more time and caught a ton of pigfish. So we went shallower. We're in 13 feet of water, and we're seeing a bunch of bait up here. So we're definitely marking it here. We're seeing it here, so we should be able to catch some white bait here. What I'm having to do really quick before the battery dies and I have to switch it out, I'm having to keep that net low to the water because we've got wind that's coming in this, and any little wind will inhibit that net from opening up. So I'm throwing in a very low profile. I'm bending down and throwing it. Let me see if I can do it before the camera dies. So that way I can get it open without the wind catching that front of that net. It wasn't. All right, folks, we got bait.
Take two.
And as you saw, we had to, we caught a bunch of pigfish, which is the most pigfish I think I've ever caught in my entire life. The 30 plus years I've been fishing out here, those are the most pigfish I've ever caught, which is fine because grouper love pigfish. So do snook, so do trout, so do all kinds of other fish. So we've got 4 different types of bait on the boat. We've got pinfish, thread fins, grunts, and white bait. And I asked Chad to bring the shrimp. Or no, I asked Chad if he brought the shrimp. And he looked at me and he said no. And I was like, well, you know that we need to have as many different baits on the boat. He goes, well, you didn't tell me to bring it. So now I guess I'm the boss of him.
He's the captain. Captain calls, makes the shots.
So needless to say, now it's my fault.
Yeah.
But anyway, the man of very little words is now talkative all together now. So anyway, we're gonna go out. It's foggy as you can see.
Oh,
so
no, we got a 5th bait.
we got a 5th bait.
Maharas.
Oh, Maharas, that's right, Maharas. So we have 5 different types of baits. So we're gonna take it slow and easy. Right now we're gonna catch maybe the back half of the major because we took a little longer to get out here, and now that it's foggy it's gonna be even worse. So we're just gonna take it nice and easy and see what happens. But we're gonna go see if we can get on the sea bass. We're gonna go for grouper. We're gonna fish inside the bay today because that wind is supposed to pick up. Well, we came out, try to find a sea bass, and we caught 2 tiny little snapper, and that was it. So the water is pretty dirty where we're at, so we're gonna go a little bit farther in because there's clear water up there, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, that bite was pretty much non-existent. So we're gonna take it nice and slow and see if we can't go and find some other fish. Well, right now the tide is so slow that I'm using actually a 1/2 ounce Stewie. And that seems, and I'm hooking them in the tail. That's how they want them. Don't understand why, but that's how we're catching them. We've caught some small snapper, some small grouper. Chad's got a pigfish on right now, seeing if he can get a big one. He got whacked, but. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking our bait cutter and I'm chopping up bait because right now these fish are not wanting to eat. We're marking fish on the bottom, and I'm not quite sure what's going on, but overall it's been a very slow bite. So I'm going to use my bait cutter to chop up some bait and see if we can't get these fish going. And that allows you to get cut bait really, really quick. It's starting to rain. Ugh. It's been foggy, it's been raining now, and so let's see if we can't get these fish going.
Barometer, man, that should make,
I know, it should make them go off with this barometer drop. So anyway, you can buy this bait cutter on our website at tampabayfishingchannel.com. As you can see, that's only two things of cutting that I did. And I cut all that cut bait.
ooh, look at here, look at here. You know what I got?
It's probably a giant catfish.
It's a flounder.
No, it's a red grouper. Huh.
Free line.
That's as big as some of the ones we were catching offshore.
Yeah.
Free lining.
Purdy.
Purdy, purdy. Did you feel that?
Did I feel the bite?
No, did you feel that when he went through the water, it was like kaboom? See, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Great ledges, showing some fish. We are going to get the boat positioned because right now it is sucked bad.
A lot of water, cold, not a lot of bites.
Not a lot of bites at all. It's horrible.
Todd's fault. We were doing good till we started.
Snapper.
He just swam by and looked at it.
We have jumped around and jumped around and jumped around and jumped around, and
Jumped around.
and the bite has been horrendous. I mean, I didn't think it would be this slow doing snapper and grouper fishing. I knew it would be slow inshore because there literally is no tide. The tide, we've chummed, we've done everything. We've free lined, we chummed. We just got to a spot that's actually showing some decent fish. Chad caught one, he just lost one. So we'll see what we can do, but it's not all roses when we come out here and fish. A lot of times you guys don't see it, but we have jumped around a lot. I mean, let me look at how many miles we've put on the boat today alone. We have put 36 miles on the boat inside Tampa Bay already, and we're not even done. But now that Chad's catching fish, I'm gonna get in on the action.
No, I should have retied.
Fatal mistake. Chad didn't retie and he got broke off by a good fish. They're few and far between today, and that's what he does.
I seen that, Nick.
Come on, Chad. That's what I tell everybody at home.
I don't listen to you though.
That if you see a nick, change it. Don't be brave.
Well, I mean, the bites have been so good today.
Yeah. See, folks, everybody has a bad day. But I heard yesterday the bite was just as bad offshore too. So I told Chad, I said, man, I'm glad we didn't try to run offshore, because if it would have sucked like this, that's a long trip for the fishing to suck. I mean, he's doing good now on cut bait. I caught one little red grouper on a pigfish, and that's it.
Because you didn't dance around.
Oh, Lord. Oh, oh, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on. That's another thing that I talk about a lot is changing the way you hook your bait. Before I was hooking them in the back of the tail because that's how they were eating them. Well, now they're not eating them like that. So I hooked that one in the face, in the nostrils, right in that clear point, and sent him down there, and I just jigged him once off the bottom to get him up and then go back down, and that's when he hit him. But if Chad continues to get hits on cut bait, then I'm going to move to cut bait because there's no reason for me to fight it. Oh, come on, man. That right there, folks, is what you call talent.
Talent!
2 grunts on one circle hook.
I ain't never seen nothing like that.
No, not like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Nice.
Nice snapper.
That was on live bait?
Yep. It's trying to chomp me. That's a good wintertime snapper. Now, as I explained earlier, how I was hooking the whitebait in the back of the tail on top, and that's how they were hitting it. Well, they stopped hitting it like that, so I went and hooked it through the nostril, the clear little part. You'll feel it. You'll feel a little you'll feel it click, and that means that you got a good hook in them. And so that snapper came off a whitebait hooked just like that. So that was a good 17-inch bay snapper. I know I talk about this a lot, but it's something that I feel that is really, really important, is that if the bite is not there, or it's very non-existent to an extent, try to change it up as much as you possibly can. Like Chad just had a grunt head down there, didn't catch anything on it. He put a live pinfish down there, didn't get hit on it. I caught that snapper, and then I started throwing them down there, hooked in the nose, and I stopped getting bit. So I hooked him in the belly and lost a good fish. So changing it up just to see if you can get them to trigger the bite. They've been hitting the cut bait, but the problem with the cut bait is we've been having to weed through the grunts, which is kind of frustrating. Chad just lost one free lining. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that you want to change it up. So if something's not working, change it up, change it up, change it up until something starts working. And days like today, you got to do whatever you can to try to trigger a bite. Well, folks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send down our chum dropper. I haven't used it in a while, haven't showed it, so I'm going to show you what we're doing. So I'm going to take up some of this dead bait, and I'm going to get it to the bottom quick and try to get this bottom lit up a little bit. Again, I'm pulling out all stops here. This is what you try to do when you want to catch fish. You got to do whatever you can. So I'm going to fill up the chum dropper and then send it down. What's nice is you latch this, and when it hits the bottom, this will open up the door and drop all that chum right on the bottom. We're in 46, well no, actually 48 feet of water. So what I do is when it gets to the bottom, I'm hoping it gets to the bottom, Yep, it got to the bottom. So what I'll do is I'll kind of jerk it up a little bit and make it hit the bottom, get that leg to open, get that chum started down there, and see if we can't get them all riled up. Just like that. No chum left, so we got all that chum on the bottom. So much for the weatherman being right that it was supposed to blow 15 to 20 today out of the southwest. It hasn't blown at all. There was a little bit of wind this morning and that was it. It's been almost dead calm like this all day long. It got rained on a couple of times, but just real quick showers. I don't know if you see what Chad's using right there. They call them like a yellowtail jig, but it's actually a jig that I've been making. And I wanted to see how they work before I put them out there, and Chad's been catching fish on them, so hopefully you can catch bigger fish. But that's just another jig that I'm thinking about introducing. I'm introducing a new jig this week, so just to have a different offerings. You never know what kind of jig will present itself as being the jig of choice for that day. But anyway, you can never have enough jigs.
Get it?
Yep. Not very big. Another snapper. Well, I would just mention that it has been relatively flat calm all day long. Well, that breeze just turned and started coming out of the southwest, so I can almost bet that within probably the next hour to a half an hour, it's gonna get, I bet you that wind's gonna pick up a lot, because it is 3 o'clock and that's about when they said it was gonna start picking up. Oh,
We had a double?
yeah, we had a double. What we've done is, these are the jigs I was talking about, and I just lost a decent fish. Changing it up.
There's a good snapper.
Man, oh!
It was a good snapper. I thought you'd go the other side of us.
No, we're on the green side. We're on this side. Yeah.
Okay, I thought we were on the red side.
No. As I stated, I could hear the wind coming across, and sure enough, it's blowing really good now. There's solid 2-footers out here easily, and it literally happened within 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So we're heading back to the house because the bite sucked. But Chad's horrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna head back to the house and we'll see you there. Well, we're back at the office, and that was a rough day. That was a rough day. It's, you know, you have them, you go through that, and you can't always go out and catch 50, 100 fish, even though we'd like to, but it is what it is. It's called fishing, not catching. But we had fun. We still got on the water before that wind picked up. That wind picked up just like you saw at the very end, and it got pretty rough out there. But it was fun. Hopefully you guys learned something today. We if you think you might have some interest in those little small jigs that I was showing you, let me know. And we were hooking some good fish on them, and so that actually was the best bite that we had, was using those small hooks and free lining like that. So if it's something that you guys might want to see, let me know and I'll start building them. So anyway, thanks for watching. Fish more, catch more, and we'll see you on the flip side. What'd you say, Chad?
Not today. It wasn't fish more.
Nah.
It's fished a lot, caught a few.